Hey guys, welcome to BMW Test Fest. Now BMW flew myself and videographer Matt behind the camera to experience 80 of their new models, and we're taking a look today at three very special cars here. The 745e, the X3 30e, and the brand new BMW X5 45e. Now these are the latest and greatest in BMW electrified models, which means they're plug-in hybrids. So we're going to explore the tech with the people behind them and see what they're like on the road. Now typically on EV Mondays here at TFL, we like to profile full electric vehicles, but today we're taking a look at three unique plug-in hybrids, because plug-in hybrids are technology I think more of you will be more familiar with, but also may be interested in purchasing in the near future, because you combine kind of the best of both worlds. Or is it the worst of both worlds? Have you guys ever wanted to find out what was wrong with your car before you took it to the mechanic? Well, with the Carly app for iPhones and Android phones, you can. Simply download the Carly app, hook your phone up to Carly's OBD2 wireless adapter, plug it into your vehicle's OBD port, and bam! You'll get a thorough diagnostic on your vehicle's health. Use the Carly app to find out exactly what needs fixing, or use it to run a systems check on a used vehicle you're buying for peace of mind. All right, here's what it discovered about our BMW. It says we're good to go. You can also play around and find hidden settings on your car, and for example, reprogram your LED headlights to shine brighter, or your keyless remote to close all your windows, and much more. The Carly app is available for a broad range of premium cars, especially BMW, Mini, Volkswagen, Audi, Toyota, and Lexus. Check out the link in the description below to find out more. Pricing starts at $79 for the adapter and the app. So click on the link below or go to mycarly.com to figure out and learn more about what MyCarly can reveal about your vehicle. So here's what I'm talking about. This is a 3-liter straight 6 turbocharged gasoline engine mated to a 111 horsepower electric motor that's sandwiched into the transmission. Now, here's the thing, on full electric range, this vehicle is rated at just 16 miles of EV only, which isn't all that brilliant. And that's because it's got a pretty small battery, just 12 kilowatt hours. So the question then is, if you're only going to get 16 miles of all-electric range, what's the point of having this plug-in hybrid? Well, that's what we're going to take a look at today. We're going to start with the pros. The first pro is right down here, because with both a gasoline and electric motor, you have the efficiency of an electric motor, but in theory the range of a gas engine. So we have well over 300 miles of total range, and we're not even full on the tank. The next pro has to do with charging times, because 12 kilowatt hours is not a lot of energy to charge in the electric car world, so you should be able to get this fully charged even off a wall outlet in a night. This is a new 2020 BMW 745e, and there's actually a ton of differences compared to the old plug-in hybrid version. Primarily everything, because the engine in the old one was a 2-liter 4-cylinder mated to a 9 kilowatt hour battery. When the battery died, I read it was terribly pokey. This one, if the battery dies, is still a 6-cylinder turbocharged engine, so there's a lot of pep, a lot of get up and go. Another pro is that, well, 16 miles of all electric range doesn't sound like a lot. I think for most of you guys out there, it's probably more than you realistically need for your daily commute. So if you have, say, a 15-mile commute, you can in theory charge up at home, drive to work, maybe plug in at the office and drive back. I know it's a little bit of a stretch, but a lot of plug-in hybrids have the range that 95% of people need on a daily basis, and then just charge them up at home. The next pro is, well, this is still a pretty typical sedan. So you don't have to do anything special. You can charge it up if you want to. You don't have to charge it up if you don't want to. It'll run regardless. Also, having that small battery means that you don't lose a lot of cargo space, just about 3 or so cubic feet over the standard 7 Series. So let's talk a little bit more about the 7 Series. What is it? Well, it's the full-size, total luxury BMW. So back here I've got just acres of room. I mean, I can almost completely extend my legs. The seat is fully adjustable with recline. I even have electric headrest adjustments. And look at this. I even get my own little control panel, so I can control these screens and a lot of the vehicle's inner workings through this Samsung tablet. I mean, this is just such a technological tour de force. So there are some pros with plug-in hybrids, but what about the cons? The first con is actually the same number, believe it or not. So 315 miles of combined range. Actually, the EPA says it's 290 miles of total range. Now, the standard BMW 740i xDrive has an EPA rating of 474 miles of range, and that's because the plug-in hybrid has a 12.1 gallon tank and the standard version 20 gallons. One con with plug-in hybrids is they typically add some weight to the vehicle because, well, batteries are just super heavy. Do you remember how I said earlier that a plug-in hybrid combines the best of both worlds, the range of a gas car but the efficiency of an electric? Well, that turns out it's only somewhat true, because take a look at the EPA rating. Now, when you're in electric and gas mode, the Hybrid 7 Series will do 56 mpge combined, according to fueleconomy.gov, where the standard gas model will do 23. Obviously much better. However, if you run the 745e on gas, it'll do 22 mpg combined, which is actually worse than the 740i xDrive, and that could be because you're lugging around a lot of extra components when you're just running on gasoline. We can't talk about plug-in hybrids without first talking about price, because the standard 740i with all-wheel drive comes in about $86,000. This one, the 745e, starts at $95,000, so 11 grand more, and you're going to have to do a lot of driving to make up that difference. Ultimately, there are two ways of looking at plug-in hybrid technology. It's either a better version of a gasoline car or a worse full electric, and unfortunately I kind of fall into that second category, at least with a vehicle with such a small battery like this one, just 12 kilowatt hours. But what if you were able to make that battery significantly larger, bigger than something like a first generation i3 or even a Nissan Leaf, but still were able to retain the gas engine? How cool would that be? And what if instead of flooring it barely moved along and it actually took off at a pretty decent rate in all electric mode? Well, that's what we're going to look at next. This is that very vehicle I'm referring to, because this 2020 BMW X5 45e is a plug-in hybrid vehicle with a frankly huge battery pack for a plug-in hybrid. 24 kilowatt hours, which, like we were mentioning earlier, is about the same size as like a first-gen Nissan Leaf. So, what does this mean in terms of range? Well, I actually don't know, because the EPA hasn't certified this, but I will say the car was about 3/4 full on battery power and was reading about 18 or 20 miles of range, so maybe we can go off of that. But some important things to note about this vehicle: 394 horsepower, over 400 pound-feet of torque. I don't know the fuel economy rating, but there's some really cool tech underneath. Now, we did have a chance to take a test drive with one of the engineers behind this vehicle. His name is Jan. He's going to take us through how it works and why it exists.
So actually it combines a combustion engine, or B58 six-cylinder engine, together with an e-machine, which is integrated in our transmission.
So what kind of power are we looking at in this vehicle?
So the power is roughly 394 horsepower.
Yep.
Yeah, where actually the e-machine delivers 82 kilowatts as an additional power output.
So talk to me a little bit about the battery in this vehicle. What's the chemistry and what's the capacity?
We got a lithium-ion battery in here.
Yep.
Of our newest generation, Gen 4. The Gen 4 generation here, this has like a capacity in this car of 24 kilowatt hours gross.
Wow, that's a pretty serious battery, yeah.
It's a bigger battery, yeah, if you compare it to our earlier generations.
I mean, you know, just a little bit of context, guys. The previous generation, the X5 40e, had a 9.2 kilowatt hour battery. So a 24 is a serious upgrade. Where does the battery live in the vehicle?
So the battery actually is underneath the rear seat.
So I know on the like the mini plug-in hybrids, there's a way you can actually save the battery for further use. Is that possible here as well?
Yeah. So this is the battery control menu.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can set a target for your SoC, so start a state of charge. Yeah. And I can say like, okay, I want to have it at 100%.
Right.
Then it charges.
So will that only let the battery charge to 70% if you were to plug it in, for example?
No.
Or is that going to hold it at the target?
It will hold. So our onboard charger has a max input of 3.7 kilowatt, and this enables you as a customer to recharge your car overnight fully 0 to 100%.
I mean, I think really what's amazing for me about this vehicle is, you know, when you think of plug-in hybrid, you think of a vehicle with a very small amount of all-electric range in a small vehicle. But, you know, this is still an X5. I mean, this is a full-size luxury SUV. Another new vehicle that BMW has here at Test Fest is this, the BMW X3 30e. X330e, yes, that's right. So this shares the same basic architecture as the 330e, the 3 Series, which means it has a 2-liter turbocharged engine with an 80 kilowatt motor, 12-ish kilowatt hours worth of battery capacity. So there are many options coming to BMW for plug-in hybrids. Not only do you have the 3 Series, the 5 Series, the 7, but now X3 and X5 as well. So what we have here are 3 different battery sizes, 3 different vehicle sizes, 2 different engines, and one big question. Do you think that the plug-in hybrid is the future in the near term? For those not ready to commit to full electric, is it a great stepping stone, or is it simply just a worse version of a full BEV vehicle? Let me know in the comment section below what your opinion is on plug-in hybrids and if you'd look at buying one. Now, we don't know how much these two are going to cost, the X5 and the X3. Of course, the 7 Series is a big full-size luxury sedan, so it's quite expensive. But hybrid technology typically is a premium over the standard gasoline model. Is it worth that premium in your opinion though? As always, this is Tommy with the Fastlane Car. Head over to tflcar.com for the latest and greatest in hybrid tech reviews.